Welcome to my channel. Welcome to Live Life with Jay. I'm Jay. I'm so excited that you're here today. Last week, if you guys watched last week, it was an amazing segment. I had a special guest, Road to Fire YouTube channel, and we talked about fire. So if you have not watched that yet, please go watch it. It was amazing. So much to learn about fire, and so many types of fires. Like it's crazy. It's like overwhelmingly great information that we need to know. And I wanted to be able to have someone on there to be able to share it with you guys so that you guys could understand what that meant. So if you haven't checked out last week's segment, please do. So I am going to talk a little bit more about fire. And if you haven't watched the segment and you're watching this one, FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. So it's so much to learn about this. It's crazy. But the first most important thing that you need to know before going into anything is always to start with a plan first. Have a goal. What is your goal? What do you want out of it, right? And with FIRE, so you have the normal retirement age is about 67 years old, right? That's the retirement age that they give us, and that's when you can start collecting whatever they allow you to collect for Social Security, right? But what the FIRE movement is you are basically, it's all the amount of money that you are accumulating through savings and through investing, through your investment portfolio. And you're doing it as fast as you can so that you can retire sooner. And people who are on the FIRE movement, they retire around 30s and 40s. And I just found out about this, pretty recent, this past year or so. And I'm in my 30s. I'm like, man, if I would have known about this sooner, I could have been retiring already. But unfortunately, I didn't. But it's not impossible to get started. It's not impossible to even just you don't even have to focus on, the retire early stage. You could just focus on the FI part, right? Financial independence, because that's the most important part, is focusing on, getting that independency. And I feel like that's so important. But what I want to specifically talk to you about, because we kind of went through it last week with the types of, what is fire, what's the types of fire, right? But what I kind of left out that I probably should have brought up is how do you calculate your fire, right? How do you calculate fire? So one of the most important things about fire is the purpose of doing it is just to have this sense of freedom, right? To have this sense that, you know what, I reached my financial independence and I don't have to continue to work. I can retire if I really wanted to. And, we have to get to the point of, what is that number, right? How do you calculate it? How do I know? And there are a lot of financial calculators out there that you can find, and feel free to find it after you watch. But I'm just going to get into the very basic of just how you calculate it. And if you want more details, somewhere else, you're more than welcome to obviously research, right? To calculate your FIRE number, what you have to do is it's an estimate, obviously, right? Estimate of when you retire, how much do you think your annual expenses will be? And you have to estimate that number. And then you take that number and then you multiply it by 25. And then that would equal your FIRE number. Okay? So I'm going to put up an example for you here so that you can actually have an official clear vision. So let's say that you calculated your FIRE number and you're like, okay, this is what I need annually. And it comes up to $50,000, right? Well, guess what? You multiply that by 25. And when you multiply that by 25, it comes up to $1.25 million. That sounds like a lot, right? It does. But this is the power of compound interest. And I talk about compound interest, and I'll put that video up here for you too. The power of compound interest is that when you start putting in money into an investment account, like a Roth IRA, then the money is going to grow so much quicker. Okay? So that's the beauty of having an IRA is to be able to retire with a good number. And if you want to retire early, better number, right? And it takes a lot to do it, and that's okay. You should, minimum percentage that you should be putting into these investments account is 15%. It's minimum. But if you want to retire early, then you would have to increase it much more. And it requires a lot of work and sacrifice, of course. But can you imagine if you retire early, what the things you can do? And if you watch the last video, it doesn't necessarily mean that retire early means that you completely stop working. You can, have your own business and still use that, or have passive income coming in. It's just different options, and you're not limited to just one. And just know that for sure. So if your FIRE number is like this 1.25 million, right? And you have this saved, if you go to one of these calculating websites, which you can even like estimate like, okay, well, how much do I need to put away? Right? And that's, another thing to find out. But the most important part, I just want to show you how to officially calculate this number. And that's how you calculate, just to give you an estimate. And then you could find other websites that will help you determine how much you need to put away a month to get to that number. Okay, the most important. And then I want to share one more thing before I go. There is this is called safe withdrawal rate that financial experts recommended, and it's about how much to take out every year after you're ready, you're at that retirement age and you're retirement early. Okay, I have the money's there. So they said the safe withdrawal rate is about 4%. 4%. And what that is just simply it kind of adds up to the number that you need annually to survive for the year. So I just wanted you guys to keep that in mind. And this was just a quick video just to show you how to calculate FIRE, because last week we didn't get to calculate it. It kind of slipped my mind, and we talked about FIRE and we talked about the types of FIRE, but we never mentioned how to calculate it. And that was it. I just wanted to share that with all of you. If you have any questions, please comment below. Let me know. And if you are going to get on this journey of FIRE, let me know. And if you're not going to do FIRE and you're just going to do FI, I want to know that too. And let me know, when do you plan to retire, or when do you plan to become financially independent? I think it's fun, and I think we should share it. I should have actually probably a separate video to share my FI number, but I'm still working on my debt-free journey, so I haven't officially started that yet, and I just want to be honest and real with you guys, just so you know. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that like button if you just enjoyed this simple video of FIRE, and don't forget, if you didn't watch last week's FIRE video, please go watch it. It was amazing. It was an amazing collab, and I was so excited about it. Hit that bell for notifications and subscribe to my channel, guys. Keep up to date with all the financial literacy that I can give you. Have a good one. Bye.